Today is the day. Ladies and gentlemen, today's the day. Are you ready? Yes, if you're ready, let's go, boys and girls, because it's happening today. Today is happening. Today is June 5th. It is the June Leadership Lunch and Learn, and you're not going to want to miss. And today we have an awesome guest. But before we get to our guest, guys, I just want to invite you to today. Again, we're going to do the first Friday Leadership Lunch and Learn. It's happening today at Rose City Comedy, located on the corner of Old Jacksonville Highway, Dueling Oaks, directly across the street from Tejas de Brazil, if you know where that's at, just past Fresh. So you're not going to want to miss it. You're not going to want to miss it because, again, the 5-day challenge that we've been doing, we've talked about fear, we've talked about anxiety, we've talked about all kinds of things. Go back and watch those. Today's show is going to be talking about 5 years from now. 5 years from now, ladies and gentlemen, are you going to want to, you'll either have two choices, right? You'll either wish you had started working on your confidence, your communication and leadership skills, or you'll be grateful you did. So the good news is you get to decide today. And I want to welcome you guys because, again, this is the final of our Find Your Voice, Find Your Future challenge. And my only question is, which will it be? 5 years from now, will the conversation be, I wish I had done it, or I'm glad I did? That promotion you didn't pursue, the business you didn't start, the opportunity you didn't take, the presentation you avoided. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's the video that you didn't record, the leadership role you never stepped into. 5 years from now, you'll either wish you had started working on your communication skills, or you'll be grateful you did. All right, so before we get to our guest, again, this whole thing is just to help really kind of like our mission statement says, we want to be able to create a positive and encouraging environment in which our members are empowered to develop communication skills and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So throughout this challenge, guys, we've talked about finding your voice. We've talked about leadership. We've talked about fear. We've talked about the power of community. And today, let's talk about preparation, because every leader eventually faces moments where communication matters. A job interview, a sales presentation, a team meeting, a difficult conversation with a loved one or family member, a leadership opportunity, a chance to stand up and make a difference. The question isn't if those moments will come. You ready? The question is, will you be ready when they do? Right? Future opportunities often belong to people who prepared before the opportunity arrived. I don't know who to give credit to. There's all kinds of people that have said this, but it says, I'd rather be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. The best time to develop leadership is before you're asked to lead. So the best time to develop communication skills is before you're standing in front of the room. And that's why communities like Roast Toasters exist. That's why it matters. Not because we're trying to create perfect speakers, because we're not. None of us are. I still have crutch words. I still have ums and ahs, and I don't really always follow the rules. I never could color inside the lines, but we come together because we're helping people prepare for those opportunities that are already headed their way. And honestly, there's something pretty fitting about learning communication skills inside of a comedy venue. Rose City Comedy is built on timing. Leadership is built on timing. Communication is built on timing. And sometimes the best way to grow is to stop talking to yourself so seriously. Stop taking yourself so seriously and simply start practicing. Nobody expects perfection, right? That's probably what happened to us, and our guests will probably agree, right? The old saying that practice makes perfect. No, I'm going to disagree with that. I love to undo true statements or mythbusters, whatever, right? I love to play devil's advocate, but practice makes progress. And that's what we expect. That's what we're looking for. And our fun fact today, before we bring our guest, is here's the thing. Every expert, every great person at any genius level was once a beginner. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every leader started somewhere. And so the people you admire didn't start better than you. They just simply started. And that's why my coach always said that it's the start that stops most people, guys. All righty. Over the past 5 days, All right, we now interrupt our regularly scheduled program to bring you our guest. Because over the past 5 days, you've heard stories from people who chose growth over fear, who took one step forward even when they didn't feel ready. And today's guest is another example of what happens when someone decides to invest in their future. Our guest today is Paul Thaddeus Grant, and he's someone who his entire career revolves around helping people prepare for the future. He spent, get this, over 20 years coaching youth, high school, and collegiate level soccer, helping athletes develop both on and off the field. After a successful coaching career, he stepped into business ownership, purchasing and operating a farmer's insurance agency for more than 9 years. And today, Paul works alongside his longtime mentor, George Aragon, a president council agent who ranks among, get this, the top 1% in the nation for farmers insurance. Paul specializes in commercial insurance, life insurance, and retirement planning, helping business owners and families and individuals protect what matters most and prepare for the future. And guys, that's exactly why he's the perfect guest for today's topic. So because whether we're talking about leadership, communication skills, whatever it might be, I'm telling you guys, what's going to happen is all about leadership, communication, and business. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Johnny. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, listen, future success often belongs to those who prepare before the opportunity arrives. And I'm so thankful that you said, yes, Johnny, I'll be on there, right? Do it.
Let's do it.
It's not about being perfect. It's not about being polished. It's about being real. It's about being authentic and genuine. Because here's the thing, Paul, you heard about Toastmasters through your boss, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And you came to the club. What did you see? What was your feedback? What could you tell that person who is thinking about coming, who hasn't quite just decided, do they need to make this a priority on their schedule? What can you tell that person?
Well, like I said, like you said, my boss sent me to Toastmasters. I had no idea it even existed. Shame on me. But within the first 2 or 3 weeks, just to be around a group of people and to feel comfortable, and it's okay to make mistakes, to go backward, to go forward. And just in the short amount of time, my comfortability speaking with people, speaking with clients, new clients, has changed tremendously. And it's only the beginning.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's so much. I started back in 2019. And apparently this club or Toastmasters has been around since like the early 1900s. Who would have thought? We just celebrated 100 years not too long ago. So here's the thing, Paul. I got a couple of questions for you. And you've spent decades coaching athletes, and now you're helping families and business owners prepare for their future. What similarities do you see between preparing for financial success and preparing to become a confident leader or communicator?
For me, in the coaching world, it wasn't about necessarily the wins or losses. It was the much bigger picture. What happens down the road? What things can I say or do as a coach to help the youth or that college student athlete become better? And the reality is sometimes you don't even know what you said to make a difference. So in the world that I'm in now, it's no different. It's the little things that as you said earlier, 5 years from now, where do you want to be? And so you take those little things and you look down the road and you help somebody understand not only where they need to be, but by all means where they want to be.
Oh man, absolutely. Right. It's kind of like you start with the end in mind, kind of reverse engineer it. And so speaking of that, looking back over your career, how important has communication been in building trust, leading people, and growing your business? And what advice would you give someone who's waiting until they feel ready to start developing those skills?
I will say this, for me as a business owner, and even as a coach and being around student athletes, it's about relationships. Also, when you coach in college, you are the mom and dad. They don't go home. So the communication is important. It's no different than in this world as well. Just you got to make them feel comfortable. You got to make them understand. And once they buy into that, sky's the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I love about that, Paul, and I call these writer downers. You start to write these things down that people say, and when you start to write it versus just record it, there's a reprogramming, right? There's a firing in all these neurons that once you write it down, that's why I'm a big proponent and advocate for taking notes, is because you're more likely to retain that information. You're more likely to implement that information. And what I love about what you just said is nobody waits until the storm to buy insurance. Nobody waits until championship day to start training, right? The athlete, this is the way I've understood it. The athlete doesn't enjoy the training. They enjoy the benefits of having trained. And since we're talking about success and we're talking about leadership, right? It's all about preparation, right? I'd rather be prepared for that opportunity and not have one than the converse, right? And maybe we shouldn't wait until a huge presentation or a leadership opportunity arises or a career changing moment before we start to develop our communication skills either, right? And so your future self really will thank you for it. Anything else? Anything else you'd like to add to that?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm in my 50s. I sold. I mean, I coached for over 20 years.
Young man.
Became a business owner, and I'm in my 50s, and all of a sudden, I'm doing a hard reset about a year ago. And so scared, and even at the time, not even knowing what I was going to do. And obviously, I'm grateful to my mentor and now my boss, George Aragon, being part not of his agency, our agency, and a family and a group of 20 or more people that you can lean on, talk to, good or bad, share ideas. And again, it goes all back to those little things and the communication and feeling comfortable, not only to talk to clients, but also to be able to talk to one another. And to be clear, when I first started Toastmasters, I was scared to talk, but just in a short amount of time, I've learned if I just slow down a little bit in trying to communicate, it is so much better. And again, I can't wait to see what else comes along with everything as we go through Toastmasters.
Absolutely. We've had a couple of guests come on. Bobby says, good morning. Travis says, good stuff. Thank you for coming on here, Paul, sharing with us. Because here's the thing, guys, as we start to wrap this thing up, I want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to come and be part of what we're doing, right? Again, over the last 5 days, we've learned that your voice has value. Leaders aren't born, they're built, right? Courage isn't the absence of fear. Growth happens faster when you're around people who are growing. And future opportunities belong to people who prepare before the opportunity arrives. And so if you've been watching this week and thinking, maybe I should work on my confidence, maybe I should become a better communicator, maybe I should become a strong leader, then stop worrying about it. Stop wondering about it. And for sure, stop shooting all over yourself. I might have to edit that back out. Anyway, so here's the thing, guys. Come and experience it for yourself. Rose City Comedy today, June 5th, 11 a.m., 12 p.m. Come, no pressure, no experience required, right? Just bring your curiosity and your willingness to grow. Because again, as we mentioned earlier, 5 years from now, you'll either wish you had or you'll be grateful you did. And remember, our question that we want to leave you guys, this is going to be your homework. If confidence wasn't an issue, where would you be speaking up more in your life right now? All right. Hey, Paul, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate you being on here. For you guys, again, the invitation exists right there, or no, right there. Go ahead, come hang out with us. It's on Old Jacksonville Highway at the corner of Dueling Oaks, Rose City Comedy, Rose Toasters. We do this at the first of every month, the first Friday of every month, or as I like to say, the first Friday. Come, have fun. Come enjoy. They've got a great little menu that you can come eat and watch. If you don't want to eat, you can just sit and watch. I'm going to get there a little bit early, about 10:30, if you want to start networking, get to know a little bit. But other than that, guys, we will see you guys at 11 a.m. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Johnny. Y'all have a great day.